to Ep.3 of SumoCast. You are listening to Laura Young and Rebecca Sweetmore.
Hello.
Today we're joined by two of the Sumo Leamington team. We've got Operations Director Harinder Sangha and Producer Sarah Adams. So thank you both for joining us.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having us.
Today we really want to explore the topic of motivation and communication from home. So for context, all of our teams in our Sumo Digital Studios are working from home, like the majority of the world at the moment. So it's been a really interesting transition. We wanted to share some of the things that we've learned, not only when it comes to looking after your well-being and your health, but also when it comes down to actually making games. So, Harinder and Sarah, how are you both? How are you both getting on working from home?
Yeah, it's been, do you know what? It's been really interesting and different. The difference for me is I travel from Nottingham to Leamington, so not doing that gives me extra hours, which is quite nice. I'm enjoying that. Obviously, my daughter's at home. I've got a 9-year-old, so actually soon to be 10-year-old, she'll be 10 on Thursday, who's obviously being homeschooled in brackets there, because with me that's been quite interesting. So having to get through that. As well as my husband he works for the NHS, he's a key worker, so he's out. So it is just literally me and my daughter at home. So it's been challenging at times, but it's been manageable.
Good, yeah. How about you, Sarah? How are you getting on?
Yeah, I think it's been okay. I mean, the hardest thing from my perspective is the kind of not having the commute and that kind of split between home and work.
Yeah.
So just trying to keep that routine as close to it would be as possible, and got a completely separate working space in the spare room, so we can close the door and shut that away at the end of the day. So that's really helping, just to kind of keep that normality there as much as possible.
Yeah, and I guess trying to get yourself into a routine that works for you, which might be different to how it normally is when you're in the studio, but still kind of keeping that mental division between work and home.
Definitely, yeah.
It's tricky doing that, getting that whole split between home and work when you're not actually stepping out the house to balance the two.
Yeah, I'm struggling with that at the moment because my work setup is in the living room. So when I finish at the end of the day, I'll still sort of pop over to my desk and sort of see if I've had any emails later on. And I think it is important to have that divide. So how have things changed from a operations point of view, I guess?
Obviously, having everybody at home, we're quite it's really, we're quite a team that likes to spend time with each other. So
yeah,
the day when we almost made the decision to send everybody, to make sure everyone was at home, I felt really sad that day. It felt really weird because everyone's packing up their kit and taking their stuff home, and it was actually our product director James actually said to me, he's like, "It's okay, H, they're coming back, don't worry." But it felt really strange almost in that sense, and I think once everybody was at home and they're starting to work and knowing that everybody is okay, and we are catching up with everybody regularly anyway, but just knowing that, they had all the kit set up, they didn't have any IT issues, and, obviously IT has been brilliant at making sure everything's been sorted. So having them all set up correctly, making sure that everyone was communicating. We've set up a daily cuppa, so come and have a cup of tea with us, whatever, and that's been really nice because just getting everybody still communicating as best as they can. Really, I think that's been the big change, because we'd walk into the kitchen and have a conversation really all the time, and then one person would be in there, then another person, so it's like constant conversation going on, I suppose, and then back to your desk, and it's an important part of studio life, I think, to have that side of things. So just making sure that people are continuing to do that.
Yeah. Do you think it's got to a point now where it feels kind of like business as usual in a way?
It has a little bit, because we're 5 weeks in the Leamington studio from being at home, and it just feels like we've been doing it for a lot longer.
Yeah.
And it is starting.
I know what you mean.
It's starting to become routine almost, and that's good or a bad thing. I mean, some of the team, I have to admit, they are absolutely loving it. We have one of our junior artists. He's Joe with him. He's more vocal than he's ever been before. I'm not sure we're going to be able to bring him back into the studio after all this. We have to work out a full-time arrangement for him to be at home. So and that's been really nice to see different personalities and how they've been coming out as well. But yeah, it's definitely starting to feel as business as usual.
So if it is sort of business as usual or unusual, are you guys still hiring? If so, how's that process working out for you now? What's changed?
So yeah, we're still hiring. We've in fact today had our first remote hire start. Yeah, and that's gone pretty well. I think he's just being more mindful about making sure he's included in things as well. So in the first week that I was home, I did 18 interviews in 1 week, and that was
18.
18. I know. I know. I'd like to say it stopped the following week, but it didn't. It's been pretty crazy. I think the recruitment team are on full, are definitely on overdrive, really. But it's been really good, actually. And I think the difference has been is when you're speaking to people when they're sat in their comfortable environment, just as you are, being at home. I think people come across and they're a little bit more relaxed about the interview, so it doesn't feel like people are just going straight into being nervous or that whole interview mode that you tend to see, and taking a little bit longer for them to kind of relax a little bit. So it's been really nice to see that side of things, and I suppose we're being really mindful because our studio's 12 months old. We've got big growth plan in place, and we don't really want any of that to stumble before the end of the year. So we continue to hire. We've had more. I think we've had six hires put out since we've been at home. I think that's right. And they've been really positive as well. They've been really positive. And actually, certainly from a more senior position as well, with the ability to speak to people has definitely been a lot easier.
So in terms of your communication as a team, have you kind of noticed your daily structure changing? Like you mentioned, you kind of have more check-ins, and it's a little bit more conscious, like making sure new starters are included. But is there anything in particular that you've kind of had to put in place?
I think a lot of it is kind of how we've currently been working in the studio. I mean, we have morning catch-ups. We have those split across our 3 sub-teams, and this gives us a chance to catch up on previous day work and plan for the upcoming day. It's been really beneficial recently. We have had a big milestone last week, so having those morning catch-ups has given us the chance to refocus the priorities for each day. Yeah. But we also have kind of group chats on Teams as well, which has been really invaluable to ensure everyone's kind of in the loop, ensuring that the right people are communicating across the disciplines, and kind of as and when we need to, we jump on calls to really help that kind of communication. So yeah, I think we've put in a few additional catch-ups and syncs in the day, but mainly it's how we've kind of been communicating as we were in the studio. It's just different not being with each other.
Yeah, I can imagine. And as a kind of a young studio as well, like a lot of your work will be kind of cross-discipline. Has that been kind of harder to work with, or in some ways has it been easier now that you're just a Teams message away?
It has been a challenge initially, but I think we're a super close team and we always work really closely together. So we know that if we ever have a question or anything, we know that the other person's always at the end of the phone or a Teams message. So it's been fine really, across disciplines.
I guess in some ways it was kind of handy that we knew that this kind of lockdown was going to happen. We had a little bit of warning, so everyone was kind of mentally preparing for like, right, we've got to pick up everything and work from home. So in a way that's a blessing, but yeah, I can imagine it was still kind of frantic the weeks leading up. But sounds like you guys handled it fantastically, so that's good.
Yeah, I think we did. Like I said, I'm super proud of the team and how they all came together and supported each other. It just shows how close we are as a team, and
that has been one of the nicest things. And that as a team, and actually that's part of our DNA almost, is that everybody supports each other, and it's a really nice environment for that as well. So everybody's always looking out for each other, even just getting everyone home in the first place. It was really nice that there was less. A lot of people don't drive; they walk into work or they use public transport. But it was less on us to get them all sorted because they were all looking out for each other and saying, right, well, I know you need to get your kit home, so let me help you, and I'll come back with you and make sure everything's set up correctly. And obviously that was all before the full lockdown came in, so everybody was helping each other. And recently we had an issue with the internet. 2 people's internet going out as a certain provider that had gone down. So but then we had a couple of Wi-Fi boxes that we could manage to get to everybody in time. So just moving them around, but doing that all at social distancing as well, to make sure that everybody was still had the ability to do what they needed to as well. But and that's what's really nice, is the way that the team is that supportive of each other, and they, they'll go out their way to help each other. It's something that certainly for me and Chris, studio director, we're really proud of the team for doing that.
Since Harinder, you've brought it up, so you talk about the sort of Leamington studio culture and how that's like you've worked really hard to create a very specific culture in your studio. How are you? I mean, first of all, can you tell us a little bit more about that? And then can you also tell us how that is working out via remote working, I guess?
Yeah, we have got a really nice team, and it's such a lovely culture, and I kind of pinch myself to how good it really is. It's down to, I suppose, what our vision was initially when we first set it up, was to actually just to prove that you could have a team of really nice people that were doing well and making great games at the same time. And I think that does show in the games that we once they're out there, that we're making as well. So yeah, I suppose that's down to initial vision, but then each and every single person that's come in has just embellished that even more. And we've been so lucky that everybody is really positive and just really kind of good from the soul kind of people. Really, it's actually it's brilliant. But yeah, I suppose keeping them connected whilst they've been away. Like I say, we do regular come and have a tea with us, and some of those have been themed. We've had
I've seen was there a tropical theme?
Yeah, we had a Hawaiian theme. We've done a Wild West theme.
Excellent.
We've done boy bands, which was Sarah's idea. Which was
can't forget that one.
that was quite interesting. We've done quite a few different themes, and actually what's really nice is we have said, we did a Marvel one as well, where we said to everybody, you can't, even before lockdown came in, you can't go and buy anything. It's got to be something you've got in the house.
Yes.
So it's been quite good fun actually in that. We also we do every Friday at the end of the day we have we have come and have a drink with us, because that's really nice, and it's a great way to end the week and go off. We have we've done a quiz night, and that was actually really good fun. And we had it wasn't games related. We did all sorts of general knowledge and movies, and we had our last round. I got to admit, I hosted this and I had great fun just before going around the house picking up different objects, and then I tried to do it almost like a conveyor belt on my daughter's skateboard, to try and have these items come rolling past, to say, right, to almost be like, right, you've got to remember all these items, and then you've got 5 minutes to go and find those items in your house, and you get a point for every single one that you get. So
such a good idea.
And it was really good fun actually, and it was random things like, just obvious things, like everyone has like a pair of scissors, but then weirdly I found a mini disc in the house.
Oh wow.
Exactly. So I thought, well, there's not that many people that's going to have that, let's go with that. So it was really good fun, and it was a good way just for the team to be doing something different whilst everyone's still at home in the evenings as well. It's just nice to do something fun with them.
Yeah, I found like one of the sort of good things about lockdown is that people seem to be a lot more sociable than normal. Like, even I'm making much more of a conscious effort to talk to my friends from uni, who are all sort of from all over the place, but we have a call every week now, which is something we never did before. We probably saw each other once or twice a year. So I guess that's definitely a good thing to come out of it.
Yeah, and isn't it funny, because then you ask yourself, really, why weren't we doing this before? We've had that, where actually we do have people that are all over the place, so actually it's not difficult to do that, and you just don't think about it really. So it's actually, I think it has definitely brought out a more looking at things in a different way, and being able to realise actually we can use different different technologies to be able to talk with people all over the world. So it's great.
It's kind of encouraged us to like slow down in a way. Like, we don't have the commute anymore, or, we're not kind of getting up at a set time, and we've got a really structured routine where we're kind of doing it at our own pace a little bit, which is kind of rewarding. So, yeah.
One of the things that I did want to ask you, again relating to studio culture and hiring, like is that a really big part of your hiring process? Like, is it a conscious part of your hiring process? Do you make sure that the people are going to fit in with the team? How do you do that?
Yeah, absolutely, we do. Yeah, the culture is really important to us. In fact, it's the people and the culture is the most important thing for us, because whilst we've got the project that we're working on at the moment. We've got some other projects coming in, but some of these projects will come and go. The most important thing is the team, and having that, having a happy team that are happy to work on whatever comes our way and giving it their all. And we are lucky that they've done that. A lot of the people that we have employed have joined us without knowing what project they're going to work on. So to grow to 25 people with that. That's something that we're extremely proud of.
Yeah, it's very impressive. It's a really difficult sell. It's a problem I think Sumo has all the time, is trying to get loads of people on board. But obviously we can't talk about all of the projects that we are working on. So yeah, that's definitely something to be proud of.
So the important thing for us when it comes to that is about selling who we are as a team and what we are as a studio. We have our studio mission statement is we make you look forward to tomorrow. And that is so relevant to what we are, because actually not only from a team perspective, because we genuinely want everybody in the team to look forward to what they're coming to do the following day, and thereafter, and that's really important to us. But then equally, one step ahead of that as well is actually what we're doing and what we're focused on is mobile development, is games as a service. So part of that is the live events that once we're live with a game, is actually running that. So we want people to be coming into our events, and we want our players to be looking forward to what we're doing to tomorrow, and they've been excited about the events that we're running. So it's really relevant about everything that we're doing.
Let's talk about you two for a second, Sarah and Harinder. What have you been doing that you wouldn't normally be doing in lockdown, either to keep yourselves sane or motivated?
Oh, good question.
So, for example, I've actually been doing exercise, which, frankly, my body is rejecting. I am the world's most lazy person. But, you've got to pass the time. You've got to sort of... And it has really given me motivation, although I hate to admit it, because my other half's been banging on about it for ages, about how brilliant exercise is for you. But, I finally succumbed.
For me, this is not. I'm a little bit of a cleaning freak anyway. And
oh wow!
I know. My best friend called me Monica Gallerism. That's because I just give me a bottle of bleach and some rubber gloves, and I'm in. It's like I'm away exactly. So I suppose I've been upping my cleaning. But also, which is quite scary if that was possible in the first place. But so that's inside the house. But when it comes to anything outside the house, I hate it. I hate doing anything in the garden or getting involved with any of that. I normally leave that all down to my husband, but obviously he's busy at work. So I've been painting things in the back garden. I've put together the most challenging bit of garden furniture that I've ever come across in my life. I have actually haven't quite got to mowing the lawn because he did that, thankfully. But have definitely done some pulling out weeds and stuff like that. And I'm quite motivated to sort now the front of the garden out as well. So yeah, I might become more green fingered. I doubt it, but you never know.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah.
It's doing strange things to people, this lockdown.
Yeah.
What about you, Sarah? What have you been doing to keep yourself busy, apart from working?
I think a similar theme, actually. We've got a very big garden at home, which with not so much time at home has been tricky to keep on top of. So we've spent a lot of our kind of evenings, especially with the nice weather, and the weekends kind of out in the garden. We've even been making some new planters out of old decking wood. So yeah, all sorts. Haven't been able to get out and buy things, so it's kind of using what we've got around and making things, which has been quite fun and challenging.
There you go,
Yeah.
Sarah Adams' top tip there. Use what you've got around the house.
Indeed. It's amazing how much money you can save on that.
That's great. I might have to message you for instructions.
Laura, have you been doing anything weird and wonderful this week?
As ever.
I like to hear Laura's update.
What have I been doing this week? I made some banana bread at the weekend. That was a first. I'm not a very good baker. Everything seems to like burn or go flat. So that was good. That was really rewarding. It was actually nice as well. So,
you sound surprised when you said that. It's actually nice.
It was all right. Normally it's like, I don't know, maybe like a little bit eggy or gross, and me and my boyfriend are sat eating whatever I've made, like, could be better, but no, I was really proud of it. I'm still propagating my plants, so I've got lots of little roots growing in jam jars and things, so that's fun.
Back to some more, I guess, relevant questions. How do you keep the teams motivated? So I'm quite fascinated by the production process as it is anyway, and sort of how to motivate people in general, but how do you do that when you're not with each other?
I think the kind of daily catch-ups that we have really help, especially because it's outside of work conversation. We like to, although it normally ends up coming back into work conversation one way or another. But those kind of daily afternoon catch-ups that we have is really great for people just to kind of discuss what they've been up to, just like we've been doing, what we've been up to over the weekends and stuff, and really just kind of bring that team back to a bit of normality in the strange situation. So that's really helping people just keep going and continue. But I also think as well is just like the celebrating the positive sides of the project and ensuring the team know the value of their work, and being recognised for the hard work they're putting in is really important, especially when we're not sat with each other day in, day out. It's really important, especially from my perspective, just to sometimes a thank you can go a long way in keeping that motivation up. So I'm really keen on ensuring that, especially from my perspective, I'm really, really doing that with the team, and yeah.
Yeah, I think thank yous can go a very long way. Do you think anything will change for the studio and the way that you guys work post quarantine? Like, do you think there's been anything that's been really positive that will affect the studio in the future? So I know that some people are talking about working from home more, for example.
I think for us, it will be a little bit like that, because we've talked previously about the fact that people could work from home, and if anything, this has proved that it doesn't actually matter where people sit; it's where they feel most comfortable, really, and that's the most important thing. And actually, everybody's worked really efficiently. So actually, having people work from home isn't going to be it's not detrimental to the project or the team, and still making sure that they still feel part of what we're doing. I definitely think that will be something that will come out of this. I think having more people actually spending a bit of time at home for their own quality of life it's really important. So for me, hopefully that would be the positive that comes out of this for us. For I think sometimes the teams feel that they can't work with people if they're not physically in front of them or physically sat with them. So and this hopefully for everybody will make them realise that actually we can do this. And not only can we, for other people, actually maybe think about it for yourself. Actually, could your quality of life become better if you worked at home one day a week, say?
Thank you, Harinder and Sarah, for joining us today. It's been really interesting to hear about the studio culture that you're building at Sumo Leamington and how you're kind of adapting to working from home, especially when you're still tackling milestones and project work. We are still recruiting across all of our Sumo Digital studios, so head to sumo-digital.com/careers and check out which roles we've got there. All of our folks across the studios are also sharing some awesome pictures of their setups and life at home, so if you're interested in seeing some of that on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, you can search for #SumoFromHome, and there are some really nice pictures on there as well. So thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye!